If you have one bad day that then turns into a bad week and now everything's off track for you, don't be too hard on yourself. It's not because you don't want to do better, you don't want more for yourself. It's because you've never taught how to show up even when things get hard. That's why in this video, I'm gonna show you how to keep moving forward even when you're not at your best, so your dreams don't keep getting pushed back. Now think about what you do when you're sad. You normally cry. What do you do when you're happy and you're sad, you're uplifted and smiling and all around, you got energy? What do you do when you're angry? You scrunch your face up, you get angry, you ball your fist, you might raise your voice. Depending on the emotion you're in, your actions kind of change. But the problem is they shouldn't. Who you are and how you show up shouldn't change depending on how you feel, but it does. And I'm not here to say from here on you should never let your emotions influence you. I'm just bringing this up so you can be aware that your emotions do influence you. They have an influence on your actions and they have an influence on mine. That's going to happen. But we can have more of a say on when we allow those emotions to have influence on us or not. The problem is, most of us never have a say on when our emotions have influence on us. We are just controlled 100% by our emotions, how we're feeling. But if you want greatness and you want to achieve something more than what you currently have, then you're going to have to do things that go against how you feel. And you got to be able to build the skill to do that. Because let's say you want to go work out, you're going to have days where you don't feel like hitting the gym. And most people, if they're controlled by their emotions entirely and do not allow themselves to dictate when they allow those emotions to take control, they just won't go to the gym. But the person who says, okay, all right, emotion, I understand. I don't feel like it, but you're not running this boat and I'm going to go anyway. Those are the ones who see progress and good things come to them. And I want to teach you how to do that same thing. But I just want you to be aware of it. Now that you understand the role that emotions play, you have a choice. Will you continue to allow your emotions to control you, or will you start taking back control and start recognizing when you don't want to be run by your emotions and you want to take control of the show? And what this looks like in real life is simple. I remember 2 days ago, I wanted to play basketball, but I just didn't feel great. And I wanted to skip over it. But I was like, you know what? I still want to get out there. I still want to keep shooting. Anyway, my goal is to shoot hoops 5 times this week. It is Saturday, which means to what, like, I'm getting close to the end of the deadline. Like, I need to go ahead and go out. And so I went out and shot basketball and shot some hoops. Didn't have the best energy, but I was sinking them. I'm hearing that. I've been doing this consistently, so I'm starting to get more consistent with my shooting. And I shot there for like 5, 6 minutes. It was not the best session, but I went out. The next day after that, I went onto the court. I got great energy. I'm out there for like 30 minutes just shooting it back and forth, back and forth. But here's the thing. No matter how I felt, I still showed up. It would have been so easy for me when I just didn't feel like going out, didn't feel the best, to stay in. But I went out anyway. I did not let how I feel change how I showed up, because that's how much I value getting movement into my life and improving in basketball. And this is how important your ability to step away from your emotions and do what just needs to get done matters. And I'm not saying this has to be for every situation. It's just for situations where you're like, this really matters to me. Like, I really want to write this book, so I'm really going to show up when I don't feel like it. I really want to learn how to speak Spanish, so I'm going to show up when I don't feel like it. I really want to be a loving partner, so even though I'm annoyed and I want to lash out, I'm going to be calm and loving because I want to be that person. Like, when this stuff really matters to you, that is when you have to decide, will I let my emotions run, or am I gonna step away from my emotions and act according to my values? Now, if you want to show up regardless of how you feel, the first thing you need to know is your plan. Actually, you have to know your plan every single day moving on. Every single day, you have to know a plan for how you're going to approach your day. But to do this, you have to know what's your goal. What do you want to do? You want to learn how to speak Spanish, play the guitar, get a new job, find a partner, read more, be in silence more, listen to podcasts. I don't know. What's your goal? You throw something out there. Once you know your goal, ask yourself, what is the one most important behavior you can do to make the most progress on that goal? You might be thinking, why only one? There's more I can be doing. No, there's not. One. Just trust me. Just one. Which one behavior you want to do? If you want to, let's say, read books, when you know the behavior is just read. If you want to eat healthier, then you know the one behavior is to cook healthy. It's simple stuff, but you gotta know your behavior. And once you know your behavior, all you gotta do is put into this formula. I will do behavior at time or event in environment, and I just follow it. And let me break down those elements real quick. So behavior is what we just covered. Obviously, be a little bit more specific. Golly, I was struggling with that word. But be more specific with the, behaviors. So, for example, I said, if you want to eat healthy, that's your goal, then the behavior could be cook healthy. Of course, be a little more specific. Instead of cook healthy, it could be a behavior is cook more chicken and vegetables, So it's just a little bit easier for you. Cook a pack of chicken legs and steamed broccoli for dinner. Like that specific, right? So you don't want to be too vague. I just want to put that in as a side note. Time in this formula is whatever time you want to do it, like 12 p.m., 5, 6 a.m., whatever. Event is something you're already doing. So for example, if you already brush your teeth, you already eat dinner, you already take out the trash, things like that. An environment, it's just where you're going to be at. Kitchen, bathroom, office, car, outside, wherever. So let me take you through an example so you get a really clear picture of how this works. So for me, my goal is to make YouTube videos, or really it is to sell a product or service. Well, a product, because I'm selling a course. So the goal is to sell a course, right? What behavior will allow me to sell a course? Putting out content, promoting the course. Boom. So all I gotta do to sell a course is to put out content to promote the course. And how can I put this into a plan? I will create content and promote my course. I'll make 4 videos doing that before I go into work at 9 a.m. in my office. And wow, look at what I'm doing. I'm recording my 4th video, and I'm going to promote my course later on in the video in my office before work. Wow, life is so simple. Now that I have this plan, I live with so much more intention and get the things done that I want to get done. That's how simple it is. So to go through that process where you figure out your goal, you figure out the one behavior, and you put into that plan. And then you want to make sure that wherever you wrote this out, you can see it. I have it as my wallpaper. I have my daily plan on my wallpaper. But if you don't have it on your wallpaper, you can put it, like, write down a piece of paper and hang it up somewhere. You'll be able to see it easily, consistently every day. The more you see it, the more you'll be reminded of it, and the more you're reminded of it, the more you'll be subconsciously pulled to do that thing when you have free time. And make sure that whatever you need to do, the behavior, is in the environment. So for example, I said I wanted to record videos before work. I'm in my office. I made sure that my tripod was already set up, my mirror showing me myself in my tripod, in my camera. I'm sorry, I don't mean to confuse you, but that was already set up. My scripts are already set up. Laptop, microphone, everything, chair, everything was set up and aligned so that when I walked into this office, all I had to do was sit down, hit a button, and start talking. So you want to make sure that these things are in place because that will really help improve the chances of you doing these tasks, doing these behaviors. Now, how do you show up on the days when you don't feel like doing it? Because this is really ultimately what this video is about, helping you show up for that plan when you just don't want to. On the days when you don't want to show up, do a 1% show up, which means show up for that behavior for 2 minutes. That is it. So for example, if I truly did not feel like recording this video, I would have literally just showed up and sat in this office, hit record, and just for 2 minutes I would have yapped, and I would just stopped and left. Why? Because it does not matter. With consistency, it does not matter if you show up and get a task done. For consistency, it just matters that you show up. So all you want to focus on is showing up. If I just showed up and just recorded for 2 minutes and left, that's cool, whatever. Because now I showed to myself, to my identity, that I'm the person who just is consistent and will keep showing up. So then the next day, I'll show up again to record. But on this day, I might feel like doing an hour, 2 hours. I might feel like just recording 8 videos in one day. And then the next day, I'll show up and maybe I just feel like recording 2 videos. That's fine. And then one day, and then for the next 2 days in a row, I might just feel like not recording anything. But if I just keep showing up, and on those days just doing 2 minutes, then there will come a day where I am so much into this momentum that, okay, my mindset's ready, let's get it going. And I'm telling you, this stuff works because I'm living proof of it. If you look at my YouTube channel, you will see videos and videos of me consistently showing up because I do this stuff. And even more, I consistently show up despite not having a huge following at all. Why? Because of what I'm teaching. This stuff works. And as Woody Allen put it, 80% of success is just showing up. So if you just focus on showing up for that plan, even if it's for only 2 minutes, you will be successful. Because I don't want to get too much into the physics, but if you understand the law of motion, you understand that once you get into motion, you're more likely to stay in motion. And this showing up for 2 minutes allows you to get in motion, and that will encourage you to just keep going. So you, more often than not, you'll find out that if you just show up for 2 minutes and that's just your goal, you will actually be there for longer because the law of motion is working in your favor. So that's going on in the background. I didn't want to cover it too much because maybe in a different video, but that is working in your favor. Now, making plans is a big step in living more intentional. And those who live with more intention get the things they want because they are intentional about it. But the people who aren't intentional about how they want to live, they're the ones who are living the default mode of life. And what is that? It is when you wake up, go to work, come home, watch TV, be on your phone, eat junk, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, repeat the cycle, weekend, you have days off, then you do this for 40 years, retire, and now you're too old to enjoy life as much as you would have enjoyed it when you were younger, and when you're in your best body, shaped mind, and now you're dead. Like, do you want to stay on that default mode of life, or do you want to be intentional and create the life of your dreams? If that's what you want to do, I've made a course for you. It's called Live by Design. It's going to be the first link in my description. Check that out if you are serious about changing your life and being more intentional. Now, let me know your biggest takeaways in the comments below. And if you take this advice and use it, I promise you, success will come to you because the people who aren't watching these videos, you're just not showing up for what they want. The competition is not that bad for you if you just show up. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you for the next one.